My name is Judy Ogna. I am a program officer for culture with UNESCO at the regional office in Nairobi. And I've been passionate about art and culture and the impact of arts and culture in this economy for the longest time. So Ikirenga is our partner in implementing a project on artistic freedom. So what we do as UNESCO is that we're able to partner with different organizations that are passionate about the same things, that have the same goals. And so for us, Ikirenga did a proposal that was extremely interesting for us because we're interested in seeing how the culture and creative industries grow in the different countries that we serve. So from the regional office for East Africa, we serve 13 countries, one of which is Rwanda. So Ikirenga gave us a proposal about how they wanted to explore the idea of artistic expression in Rwanda. And for us, we have one of our conventions on the 2005 convention around the promotion and protection of the diversity of cultural expression. And that project that was proposed really speaks directly to how we implement that particular convention on the creativity and the diversity of that creativity. So what Ikirenga is doing is seeing first, finding out through a robust research, what the needs are in as far as creativity and artistic expression is concerned in Rwanda. And then the second phase is to see how we can build capacity, for artists, so that they can be able to take their rightful place and understand what their legal requirements are, what their opportunities are, and also to express their challenges so that we can be able to see how we do the challenges. The third is to look at how we do platforms. Artists need platforms to sell. Sure. Whether you're a musician, whether you're a visual artist, you need a platform. So the third aspect of it is platforms. But in all that, we're also looking at the legislation framework. What is in the legislation? What are the policies? What are the strategies? We're working specifically on Rwanda. Yes, it's specifically on Rwanda. What are the legislation frameworks? What can we do to encourage the government to support artistic freedom of expression in Rwanda? So my visit here is to first meet Ikirenga partners. We have met online severally, but also to see the vibrant artistic expression that's happening here, and to see how we can then promote and push the project to a successful conclusion. So that's a very good question, because the beauty of that question is that the challenges are quite similar across the region, and I might even say across the continent. We have a lot of talent. We have a lot of talented people, but the way that they're able to sustain a livelihood and make money, economic sense out of their talent is always the bugbear of the creative. Whether you're a visual artist, whether you're in theater, the kind of work that you do, the talent that you have needs to put food on your table. And so it needs to feed you, and it needs to give you a good income. And how we try and support it is there's what we call a recommendation on the status of the artist. What are the training opportunities? What are the rules? What are the legal structures that ensure an artist is paid for their talent? So, for example, when artists' music is played on radio, what in that country is the legal framework that ensures that something is paid to the artist, because the artist is the one that is making this radio station more popular. And it has to be, of course, it's not everybody. If you're a bigger artist than somebody else, the bigger artist needs to benefit more. What are the structures that inform that? And then also markets. How do we increase the markets, the marketability? Do you have exhibition spaces? Do you have concerts? And do you have spaces that people can be able to express themselves? It doesn't have to be big concerts. There are artists who are spoken word artists. Where are they able to channel their music or their art? Beyond that, and now as we know, especially after COVID, we've seen a big boost with the internet and the space. Yes, exactly. And so how do we maximize that? How do we make sure that when an artist is on YouTube, then they're able to benefit from those, million likes? So there are a myriad of issues, but the main ones, as I said, is really economic return of your talent, markets, and the spaces for expressing yourself, and also training. Where do you get your training from? You don't have to go to university. What are the training workshops? And that's what Ikirenga is doing. They're having training workshops for raising awareness, for ensuring that artists know what their rights are. But as I said, artists, when you have rights, you also have responsibilities. So you have to know how those two come together. Excellent. That's an excellent question as well. I mean, just circling back, and when I was younger, it's much less now. When you said you were an artist or you were in the art field, people would wonder, what are you doing? And where is the serious work that you're doing, right? We have come a long way from that. And I think that what UNESCO is trying to do is to raise awareness about the value and the role that the creative industries plays. So the easiest example is right now, if you're able to quantify the number of young people who benefit directly from the culture and creative industries, then you can be able to motivate the government to do more. So one of the things that we are doing, for example, you asked me for an example, is to have a framework where you're able to quantify the contribution of the creative industries in the GDP. And I'm talking now about any and every country that has ratified the 2005 convention. When they're able to quantify what that is, then you can go to government and be able to motivate government to add, yes, this is what we are giving, this is the potential, this is what we are earning just from the artists, this is the gap, how about you invest more in the sector? And I can say that over the years, because I've been in the sector for many years, over the years you have seen a growth. And so we, if you're talking about specifics, we have a structure and a strategy of making sure that people are able to, or countries or governments are able to quantify their contribution to the SDGs in general, but also to the GDPs of the different countries. And then that particular tool is comparable across different countries. What that means is that it's not only relevant to Rwanda. Rwanda can also compare themselves with what's happening in Kenya, what's happening in Uganda, what's happening in Mauritius, what's happening in Comoros, so that you're able to gauge where you're at and what you can do in terms of how. So for example, we've done a big project in Uganda on film that has actually been able to see that film has a very long knockoff effect. Apart from the actors and the producers, then there's also the distributors and the script writers. There's quite a lot of people behind exactly. How do you quantify those as being people who have benefited from this film industry alone, and then have that cascading effect?
Thank you so much, Judy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Asante sana.